I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Coralville City Council to order, August 22nd, 2017. Roll call.
Councilmember Hope. Gross.
Here.
Gill. Dodds.
Here.
Goodrich.
Here, and apologies, I have sunglasses on. I had eye surgery, so
Oh, wow.
I'm with it.
Both eyes
Just
or
have
one eye?
Sunglasses. We'll talk about it later. Thank you.
Laura, did you look at the eclipse yesterday?
Yeah.
Or
That's
in
what
a
the
fight
president
or
looks like
something.
tonight.
Okay, well, we have a quorum. Councilmember Hoft is expected to be here, just a little late, and Councilmember Gill is not going to be with us tonight. We also have Kelly Lindsay, acting city clerk, with us tonight, and city administrator, city attorney, and several staff in the audience. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved by Gross, seconded by Dodds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, very good. Item 4, citizen comments. Is there anyone that'd like to speak to us tonight? You know the routine. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, I don't know if you realized, you welcomed me to come back the first time I came, so.
That's true.
I'm Miriam Timmer-Hackert, and I just wanted to remind you all and introduce those of you who haven't heard of it. We have a restorative justice program here in town that's open to anyone. We originally started it with the juvenile court. I think our original grant was to work with the criminal justice system, but we've also ended up working with rec centers and with libraries. So the restorative justice program is kind of a mediation program with the goal being to have people feel more understood and to be able to communicate better. So the case that I was a restorative justice facilitator with was kind of one of those racially based things with cops trying to arrest a youth of color who then got overly upset and kind of lost her cool and was acting out. But I think it was really helpful for all the parties involved to be able to talk about it afterward and explain how they maybe should have responded and how instead of how they did respond. And the police had a chance to explain why she wasn't able to go back into the house because they weren't sure it was safe and that was their job and they weren't allowed to make exceptions for her. But I thought it was a very helpful process, and it's open to any groups that are not getting along. So you just need to contact Annie Tucker. You can find it under Mediation Services of Eastern Iowa. You can talk to me about it. But it's a great way to have people who are kind of trained in racial issues and gender issues and stuff like that just kind of help you have a better conversation so that you can hopefully understand each other better.
Great. Thanks for that. We can always use more of that for sure.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much. Any other comments? Jim? No. Okay. Okay. We'll move on to item 5 then. Coral Ridge Apartments. It's a public hearing, and we'll start with Jim Kessler giving us a building department and P&Z report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you know, this is part of the Coral Ridge Apartments, which is building their facility on the site of the old Lantern Park Care Center. The building itself is quite a ways under construction, but what they want to do now is amend their site plan to add this area onto the back of the building as an amendment to the site plan. This wasn't planned, it was planned for the future, but now what they want to do is to give some amenities to the people that first move in there as well. So they want to amend the plan, add it on now, and hopefully it'll be ready, when the building is ready for occupancy. So this is the location of it. It's on the rear of the building, and I can show you a blown up view of what it's going to look like here. Okay, so this is what it will look like. This is actually the gazebo area of it here. This area around here is all pavers, brick pavers. There are benches around here to sit on. As you can see, there's landscaping around the whole area. This item here are actually glider swings for the people to use. As I said, a gazebo in the middle. Over here, we have some raised planting beds. I assume that's flowers, herb garden, vegetable garden, whatever people would like to plant in there. So this is the amenity they want to add onto the back, excuse me, for their residents as they move in and live there. And the gazebo in the center will look like this. It's a screened-in gazebo, so you can sit out there in the summertime and not be bothered by the bugs. This amendment was before the P&Z the other night and recommended for approval by a 6-0 vote.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Okay, item C, I'll open the public hearing. Are there any comments from the audience? Yeah.
Hey, Megan Carr with Sand Development. I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys have on the gazebo. We're looking forward to hopefully getting the approval and getting started with this work right away so it's ready before winter and before our residents move in. So,
Great.
yeah.
Any questions?
Looks great.
Yeah, I just comment that the building looks good, and this looks like a great addition to it, so.
Good. If you guys notice, if you drove by today, the siding is going up now. So
Oh,
it'll
okay.
look pretty blah until we get it painted, just as an FYI.
Okay.
That's not the final color.
Okay.
So,
Okay, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Were there any written comments?
No written comments.
Okay, well, I'll close the public hearing then and consider the resolution.
Resolution approving the amended PUDB site plan for Coral Ridge Apartments, Coralville, Iowa, is introduced for adoption by Councilmember Gross, seconded by.
Second.
I think it was Dodds again. It was close, but seconded by Dodds. Discussion? Roll call.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
The resolution is approved, all ayes, with Hoft and Gill absent. Thank you. You're welcome to stay if you'd like. Item 6 is Highway 6 and Jones Boulevard Traffic Signals Improvement Project. This is the first item is a public hearing on the plan specs and estimate of cost for this project. Assistant City Engineer Scott Larson, maybe before I open a public hearing, I'll allow you a chance just to sort of describe what this is.
Sure. As you know, for a number of years, we received concerns about the intersection of Highway 6 and Jones Boulevard, which is also West Core Drive to the south. Particularly once Tyson's opened and then Hawkeye Harley opened on the west or the southerly leg of the intersection. And traffic was always increasing on Heartland Drive out in the Costco area. And so we've been monitoring, with the help of MPOJC, the traffic volumes at that intersection. And I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago that those studies came back and said that traffic signals were needed at that intersection. So it was about a year ago we applied for traffic safety improvement program funding through the DOT, and we were awarded that grant. So we proceeded with the design, and the schedule right now is that we will bid the project September 19th. And hopefully, if all goes well, we'll have a operating signal at that intersection before the end of the year.
Terrific. A lot of interest in that project that I've heard. Okay, I'll open the public hearing. Are there any comments? Any written?
No written comments.
Okay. We'll close the public hearing then and consider the resolution.
Resolution approving the plan specifications, estimate of cost, and inform of contract, ordering bids, setting a date for the receiving of said bids, and directing posting of the bid letting all for the Highway 6 Jones Boulevard Traffic Signal Improvement Project, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Gross, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Goodrich. Discussion. Roll call.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes, with Gill and Hoft absent. Item C is a quotation report that I believe Scott distributed.
That's right. So with this project, traffic signal poles typically take about 3 months to manufacture from the time you place your initial order. So in order to keep on that schedule that I mentioned before of having the signals operating before the end of the year, we took the step to go ahead and solicit quotations directly from suppliers. And the DOT gave the permission for us to do that as well. So earlier today we received 2 quotes. One was from Terry Duran, and one was from Van Meter Incorporated, both out of Cedar Rapids. And Terry Duran Company came in with the low quotation at $28,104. And as noted there, the engineer's estimate was actually $45,000, so we were very pleased with both quotations, very close bids. Shive Hattery, our engineer, reviewed the quotations, and the Iowa DOT District 6 office in Cedar Rapids also reviewed and concurs with our recommendation to award the work to Terry Duran Company.
Very good. Thank you, Scott. The resolution.
Resolution accepting quotation and awarding a contract for the traffic signal poles for the Highway and Jones Boulevard Traffic Signals Improvements Project, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Dodds, seconded by.
Second.
Second by Goodrich. Any discussion? Roll call.
Gross.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Resolution is approved all ayes with Hope and Gill absent. Thank you, Scott. Item 7 is Iowa River Landing Commercial Condominiums. Also a public hearing. This is on a licensure agreement for about 3,500 square feet of retail space for a ladies store called J. Jill that would go in some space immediately next door to Evermore.
Yeah.
Lulu and, I think Lulu.
No, maybe
might
it's
be between.
Lululemon, in between those two anyway. Okay, well, I'll start by opening a public hearing on this proposed disposal of property in the Iowa River Landing. Any comments? Written?
No written.
Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing and the resolution, Don.
Resolution approving the disposition of property and approving a lease agreement with the J. Jill Acquisition LLC, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Goodrich, seconded by.
Second.
I think it was Dodds. Discussion?
Yeah, this resolution be approved subject to my approval. There's a couple tweaks they got to make. They're having a call tomorrow. But the main terms, rent and amount of space and term are all taken care of, so.
Okay, so just approve it as is.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? Roll call.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Resolution is approved all ayes with Gill and Hoft absent. Item C is another resolution for the same project. And I'm stumbling here because it
it's the-
says Lux Zone.
Yeah, the C is, the first one was J. Jill. This one's a 1-year extension of the Lux Zone lease that's already located down there.
Okay, thank you. I thought there was another item for Lux Zone, but I guess I just remember reading it in the past.
Since it's not over 3 years, you don't have to have the hearing.
Okay.
It's a 1-year lease.
And it's all in the same building?
It's
Does that
it's
make
already
a difference?
it's already there, so it's in building B right now, which is this right
So-
next to 30 Hop, if
Yeah.
I remember correctly. Right north of 30 Hop in building B.
The furniture store, Lori. That's
Yep.
right by 30 Hop.
Where's J. Jill going to be?
Building A, which is the northerly building towards Von
Yeah,
Bauer.
there's an in-between. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Okay.
I get my buildings. right. Thank you.
Okay, so this item is a resolution extending the lease with the Lux Zone.
Resolution approving a lease agreement extension with Lux Zone, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Goodrich, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Gross. Discussion? Roll call.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Resolution is approved all ayes with Hoft and Gill absent. Item 8 is police car video camera and integrated body cam replacement. Police Chief Shane Crone is going to talk to us about this project.
Thank you. We have had squad car and officer video failing at an alarming rate here over the last 9 months. We've not been replacing it in anticipation of a new system. Our squad cars systems began to fail many years ago, but thanks to Cedar Rapids PD pulling the same unit we have and giving them to us, we've been able to Frankenstein our system for the last 5 years.
Wow.
We're now at a point where we're forced to make some costly repairs or migrate to a newer system. We have selected WatchGuard as our preferred vendor. They're the only company at this point that's doing integrated video. You turn on your lights, your body camera comes on, your car camera comes on. You get out of your car, you push your body camera, your car camera comes on. It's really the only company doing that right now. You push one button, one signal, and every camera you have comes on. And that's really why they're our preferred vendor.
Okay. Well, item A is a quotation report. And I know there was information in the packet, but
Yeah, there are many parts to this. WatchGuard provides the 10 squad car video, the 20 body cameras integrated to the system, but there's wire that needs to be pulled from the server room. When a car pulls into the PD, it will download wirelessly. There's no more trekking in and out of the PD with hard drives. We can also use existing servers. Every other company we looked at was trying to sell us a proprietary server, so which WatchGuard being the kind of the premium company at a greater expense, ability to use the servers we already have really brought them even. But yeah, there's cable to be run. CSS has to connect to our current servers. We have to find how to migrate our current video over to the new system. So there's some software and background work that needs to be done other than just installing cameras.
Sure, but all that information was in our packet.
All
so,
there.
Yep.
The total for the whole thing was $124,787.
Okay. Well, let's do item B, which is a resolution accepting a quotation and awarding it to awarding the project.
Resolution accepting quotation and awarding a contract for police car video camera and integrated body cam replacement, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Gross, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Dodds. Discussion? Roll call.
Gross.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes, with Hoft and Gill absent. All these are for basically the same project, just different components. Item C is a resolution accepting quotation and awarding the contract for the installation into the 10 police cars.
Resolution accepting quotation and awarding a contract to install the watch guard system in 10 vehicles for police car video camera and integrated body cam replacement, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Dodd, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Goodrich. Discussion? Roll call.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes, with Hoft and Gill absent. Item D is a resolution accepting the quotation and awarding the contract for the installing the cable in the police department for the wireless system.
Resolution accepting quotation and awarding a contract to install cable in the police department parking lot for the wireless download connection for police car video camera and integrated body cam replacement, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Goodrich, seconded by.
Second by?
Second.
Okay. Seconded by Gross. Discussion? Roll call.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes, with Hoft and Gill absent. Lastly, item E is a resolution accepting the quotation and awarding the contract for the installation of the software and server equipment.
Resolution accepting quotation and awarding a contract to for installation of software and server storage for police car video camera and integrated body cam replacement, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Goodrich. We'll see if that works again.
Okay.
Seconded by.
Second.
Second by Dodds. Discussion? I'll just ask the chief. As I recall, there's you have a capital equipment reserve funds and for this purchase.
That's correct.
Yep. Okay. Any other? Roll call.
Gross.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes. Hoft and Gill absent. Thank you, Chief. Item 9 is supplemental agreements. This is supplemental agreement with Terracon Consultants regarding some asbestos abatement work that needs to be done on some of the buildings that we are demolishing in the Iowa River Landing area for future construction down there. And Councilmember Hoft has just arrived.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry I'm late.
That's all right. Resolution?
Resolution approving a supplemental agreement for an engineering services agreement with Terracon Consultants, Inc. for asbestos and hazardous building materials survey of property at 103 East 7th Street, 702 East 2nd Avenue, 709 East 2nd Avenue, 860 Quarry Road, and 216 East 9th Street. It's introduced for adoption by Councilmember Hof, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Dodds. Discussion? Roll call.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Hoft.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Resolution approved, all ayes, with Gill absent. Item B is a supplemental agreement with Howard R. Green for the Iowa River Landing Sanitary Sewer and Roadway Grading Project. Just compensates them for additional work that was needed for this project.
Resolution approving supplemental agreement number 2 to the engineering services agreement with H.R. Green, Inc. for the IRL Sanitary Sewer and Roadway Grading Project 2017, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Dodd, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Hoft. Discussion? Roll call.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Hoft.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Resolution approved, all ayes, with Gill absent. Item C is a resolution approving a supplemental agreement also with Howard R. Green. This is for the First Avenue Duck Bank project at 6th Street to 9th Street. And it's for some additional redesign efforts and engineering services that were required to go underneath the railroad crossing, and also related to the upcoming Drury parking ramp that's going to be built along there.
Resolution approving supplemental agreement number 2 for an engineering services agreement with H.R. Green, Inc. for First Avenue Duck Bank Project, 6th Street to 9th Street, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Goodrich, seconded by.
Second.
Second by Gross. Discussion. Roll call.
Gross.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Hope.
Aye.
Resolution approved, all ayes, with Gill absent. I would consider now item 10, a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented or amended.
Yes, Mayor, I would move to approve the consent calendar, items A through EE inclusive.
Second.
Okay, I think that was Gross, seconded by Gross. Any discussion? Roll call.
Hope.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Consent calendar is approved, all ayes, with Gill absent. Item 11 is city administrator report.
Yeah, first of all, I'd just like to thank all the staff and volunteers that helped with the Fifth Street Social this last Saturday night. It was a great success and a large increase in attendance and a lot of fun. So it was really a great event, and we do appreciate all the volunteers that helped with that. I just wanted to make sure everybody was paying attention, because the street department is on putting up the replacement street lights on Highway 6 out towards the mall, and they'll be doing that all week. So just heads up, they have obviously cones and everything up, but it's just a little congested out there, so should watch out. And reminder that tomorrow school starts, and so everybody should pay attention to all of the students going to and from school, and all of the different traffic areas that relate to that. So just be careful in the morning and in the afternoons. And then reminder that Fry Fest is coming up on September 1st, and which is a week from Friday, and they're still looking for some volunteers for those events. And they've got a full roundup of activities from 10 in the morning till 10 at night.
Okay. Thank you, Kelly. Mayor's report, well, you pretty much hit on everything that I was going to say. Yes, Saturday night's Fifth Street Social was a lot of fun, and not that last year wasn't great, but this was really an improvement over last year in terms of the crowd, and it was less of a construction zone, and I think we're on to something pretty good there to continue to pull off. And not only look out for students driving to school, but I'll even throw teachers in there too. Look out for teachers going to school. So, let's see, Fry Fest, it's hard to believe, but I was looking at my calendar, and by the time we have our next formal council meeting, there'll be not one but 2 football games completed for the Hawkeye schedule. So hopefully we'll be 2-0. And lastly, I just want to send out condolences for our city clerk, Thor Johnson. Thor's father passed away overnight, and that's why we have Kelly acting for him. But our prayers and thoughts go out to Thor and his family. Okay, city attorney's report.
I have nothing this evening, Kevin.
This is my annual reminder. School starts tomorrow. If you pass a school bus illegally, you get a $250 fine. Plus, you lose your license for 30 days. So,
Wow.
so if you think about, if the light's yellow and it's blinking, don't try to go around it, because you'll end up losing your license for 30 days.
Good warning. Committee and council members report. Lori, I'll give you a chance.
The Coralville Connection came out this week with lots of great information, so hope everybody will take time to read that. Thanks.
Thank you. Jill?
I just wanted to say good luck at school. I have a couple of Simple Abundance kids who had shared their last day and are starting off at kindergarten tomorrow, so I'll be thinking of them. And I'm also thinking of Thor and his family. Thank you.
Thank you. Mitch?
A couple of things, Mayor. I just wanted to touch base on 2 weeks. Well, at our next council meeting, it will be election day for school board as well as the school bond issue. And I just wanted to bring up one thing, because yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, maybe today, in the Press Citizen, there was an op-ed piece that was against the bond. And if you want to vote against the bond, that's fine. But I do appreciate when we use facts. And there was a line in there about one of the reasons why people should vote against the bond was because of the TIF that Iowa City, North Liberty, and Coralville have engaged in. I'm just going to read it here. It says the city's councils of Iowa City, Coralville, and North Liberty have been handing out TIFs like candy for years, undermining our K-12 school budgets. Schools cannot benefit from the full value of the growth of the property tax assessments. And Tony, I just want to know if you could possibly come up and speak to that real quick and maybe show that that's actually an erroneous statement.
City Finance Director, Tony Rutland.
Yeah, so on the operations side of school finance, the state has what you could call a backfill for any lost revenue due to TIF. And on the borrowing side, so for instance, for a school bond, the TIF value is not, it is protected such that that bond debt service gets spread across that value as well, and it's taxed.
Great. Thanks. So,
Yeah, I think even simpler than that is the thing to remember with schools are they get so many dollars per student no matter where it comes from. So
Right.
that's really the simple piece of it is that there's no more money to come no matter what because the state legislature sets that dollar per pupil.
absolutely. So I just want to point that out because it's, again, if you have an issue with the bond, that's fine. But I do appreciate that we use facts when having those discussions. And I guess the last thing I'll say, because there won't be a meeting before the election, when we do economic development missions and things like that for the city, one of the first questions asked is, what about the quality of our schools? What are the schools like? So I think it's incumbent to remember that we need strong schools to have a strong community and a strong economy. That's all I've got, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Bill?
Thanks, Mayor. A couple of things. First of all, my wife just purchased a new bike, so we are now becoming bikers. And we got out on the trails, and we went around the entire city on the trail system. And I just want to encourage people to get out there and discover those trails and thank the Parks and Rec and everyone here because it's really amazing what we've done here to be able to get out and exercise and just see the city that way. Secondly, I'd like to sort of dovetail onto what Mitch just said. Another couple things that I would like to point out is that Coralville has 2 voluntary set-asides that are 2 pockets of money that we put into the school district before the monies fold back into the TIF district. I think that's important to note. And again, that's voluntary. Secondly, with the amount of money that we generate every year that goes to the state of Iowa, we fulfill not only our entire school district's backfill, but there are about 6 or 7 districts that, with the amount of money that we put in, that we fill their backfill as well, surrounding districts. So just keep that in mind as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Unless anybody has something more to add, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Goodrich, seconded by Hoft. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. 7 o'clock.